Yay. Yeah. Boom, boom. Okay. So, yesterday, I juiced these lemons. I skimmed this aloe. Got the gel. I don't want to put too much, but it's probably too much right there. Oh well. Got some sea moss here. Now yesterday it tasted a little like that's too much. Too much sea moss. Oh well. Did it again. Apple cider. Ginger powder. Now I put too much yesterday, and I probably just put too much again. And honey. Yummy, 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 I got honey in my fizzy. This is an adaptation of two recipes. One is David Jubb's Fizzy. The other is David Jubb's Electrolyte Lemonade. And I'm working my way into fasting, so this is kind of like, I don't know. Knowing that I have this waiting for me at the end of the day helps me not eat during the day. But eventually I'm gonna not even have this. What up, Rick? Rick, what's up, my boy? How are you today? Tonight? You're from out west, right? Is it still daytime? Now I got some ice over here. I'm gonna get brain freeze from all this. Why? Why do I do it, Rick? Ooh. Okay, and the last ingredient is baking soda. And I'm gonna probably put a full teaspoon in. What did I do yesterday? 3/4? Here's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. It's probably too much. Damn it. Too much. Much too much. Let's see if I didn't ruin it. You ruined it! Sheesh, that's a lot. I'm a fat kid. I'm a fat kid and I like to eat. To your health. Oh yeah. Very good. Oh man, here comes the brain freeze. Getting my sandals. Gonna put the apple cider, the lemon, and the sea moss downstairs in the fridge. I'll be right back. Count to 30, Mississippi. Back. Don't call it a comeback. Been here for years. Oh geez, too many years. Been here so long, we have to call it a comeback. Never back down, never give up. Never let them see you sweat. Too much squishy. Oh man, I remember that one. He starts tripping out, right? Oh my God. The Simpsons. Wait, what happened? What did I do?
If you want to start an argument in the United States, mention gun control.
The Second Amendment has been under assault for a very long time.
This is not about getting rid of the Second Amendment. It's simply about saying we need reasonable gun safety laws.
You want my guns? I know it.
Hell yes, we're gonna take your AR-15.
I almost feel like we're all being punished for having firearms.
However, there is one form of gun control that a majority of Americans, including gun owners, agree on. It's what's known as an extreme risk protection order, or a gun violence restraining order. But you may have heard these laws referred to by a different name.
Red flag law.
Red flag laws.
I have called for red flag laws.
Red flag laws. I think these protective orders have a lot of hope to solve some of these cases.
19 states already have red flag laws in place, and the core idea is to give authorities a way to limit access to guns for people who are believed to be at high risk of harming themselves or others.
If you're threatening to harm yourself or somebody else, you shouldn't have access to any weapon.
When the system works, once a protection order is placed, the individual at risk won't be able to purchase any new firearms, and if they already own one or more guns, those may be temporarily confiscated. And that's an important distinction to make here. Red flag laws aren't permanent bans on purchasing or owning guns. After an initial period, there needs to be a hearing. typically in court to extend it, and the burden is on the state to prove a need for that extension. It's hard to quantify what effect these laws have had so far, but there are some promising signs. More than half of all gun deaths each year are self-inflicted, and in Connecticut and Indiana, there is evidence suggesting a link between the number of guns confiscated and a 5 to 10% reduction in the expected suicide rate. That said, both of those states have also shown the weakness of red flag laws in preventing mass shootings. Following the shooting deaths of 20 young children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, multiple sources reported that the gunman had shown troubling signs, but no action was taken to restrict his access to guns. And more recently, a gunman who took the lives of 8 people at a FedEx facility in Indiana was referred to law enforcement, interviewed by the FBI, and had a firearm confiscated back in March 2020. But law enforcement did not pursue the red flag laws beyond the initial hold, so the gunman was able to legally purchase new weapons just a few months later, which he used in the attack in April.
This case does illustrate some of the shortcomings that exist with this red flag law. As you can tell from the tight timeline that we are under and operate under when we try to make the determination, we have 14 days under the statute. And because we have 14 days, our ability to have access to meaningful medical history, meaningful mental health records is severely limited.
So what do we do now? Clearly, the answer has to be something. President Biden has issued a number of executive orders aimed at gun control, including directing the Justice Department to create templates and guidelines for states to implement red flag laws if they don't have them already. There's also discussion in Congress over how to strengthen these protection orders. However, it's incredibly unlikely that will come in the form of a federal red flag law. What's more likely is that Congress will incentivize states to create their own laws following some kind of national standard. Meanwhile, in states that already have these laws, there's a lot more to be done to make sure they actually work.
All right. Now I don't have to read the article. The only thing I can think of about that was when they said, what was it in the beginning? Oh, more than half of deaths are self-inflicted? That's incredible. That's actually incredible to me. More than half of gun deaths are self-inflicted. Sheesh. Reminds me of... I got a little space heater over here because I'm cold. Reminds me of when I was fresh out of the UFC and stressing about money. I took the test to become a police officer because that's where my dad was and that's where my grandfather was. And when I realized I was going to have to carry a gun, I started having second thoughts because I said, hold on, I'm either going to shoot somebody or get shot. And I didn't want either of those things to happen. As it turned out, I ended up getting a DUI and never went through with the, the academy, whatever. But, I think education is the most important thing. I don't think people should get their guns taken away. And red flag law makes sense. It's like once bitten, twice shy kind of thing. John, you want to know about breatharian? I'm not going to talk about it now. I think it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor because, we do have a digestive system. But most people eat too much. So I'm going to forward you to a video on my YouTube channel. Oops. Oh. You go to YouTube. You go to playlists. Okay? The playlist is It's the playlist. Oops.
New Bushido Master unlocked. And what's his special move, you may be asking? He just stepped.
No. Oh, don't tell me my internet again.
Steps on your legs. He doesn't do anything but.
Okay. My internet's been giving me problems. David Jubb, PhD exclusive lectures. Okay? I think. Okay, and where is it? It's not up there? Shoot. Alright, hold on. There you go. David Jubb, breatharianism. Essentially, the bacteria in the gut does something with the oxygen. I'm gonna describe it wrong. Just watch this.
Welcome, everybody. Is everybody in the right room? Are you interested to hear about breatharianism? Yeah? I think it's possible that I can talk to everybody perhaps without the microphone. Can everybody hear? It's better? It's better? Right, it's more natural. We might just turn that off. So what I would like to cover, I would like for us solidly to have an inner standing by my having the ability to be able to direct your attention to things in nature which help explain this. So as you would get up from your seat after you've heard this today, it's possible to consider that you will have changed. Awareness burns away thought. So there would be no reason for a thought in some of these areas. So I'd like for us to talk about breatharianism. What is this? Because originally we were breatharians. As a baby in utero, you primarily existed of gases. And still to this very day, whether you're aware of this or not, you primarily are living off gases. And a colloid is smaller than 600,000th of an inch, and it's so small it resists the pull of gravity. When you blow your hand, what can you feel? You feel colloid that's invisible. You can't see it, but the air is full of colloids. If we could make a very dark room and we have a beam of light, like sunlight probing through a hole in the roof or something, and we saw this beam of light against the dark background, we would see scintillating, floating little particles here that have joined into strings. These are colloids. So our blood is made from gases, and our blood is made from colloids.
Now, hold on. I don't know if I got through this gun bill. The Senate voted to advance bipartisan gun legislation on Tuesday, with hopes of passing it prior to the July 4th recess. The bill comes after a number of mass shootings. Colloids, Rick. Yeah. This is Jub's New Science of Colloidal Biology. There's books on it. The bill comes after a number of mass shootings, most notably in Buffalo and Uvalde. Isn't that coincidental? The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act falls short of more expansive proposals passed by Democrats in the House and is already facing opposition from top House Republicans. Should it become law, however, the bill would be the most sweeping gun safety legislation passed by Congress in decades. Of course! Today we finalized bipartisan common sense legislation to protect America's children, keep our schools safe, and reduce the threat of violence across the country. Our legislation will save lives and not infringe on any law-abiding American Second Amendment rights. We look forward to earning broad bipartisan support and passing our common sense legislation into law. Here are some of the key provisions. Funding for crisis centers and so-called red flag laws. Under the legislation, $750 million would be allotted over the next 5 years to help states implement red flag laws, which allow authorities to temporarily confiscate guns from individuals deemed a threat to themselves or others. That means they're going to look at your Instagram. They're going to look at your Facebook posts. Did you like such and such? If so, you might be a terrorist or have terrorist tendencies. We're going to take away your guns. You see? The legislation allows for the implementation of these programs through mental health, drug, and veterans courts. What else? Closing the boyfriend loophole. While spouses, co-parents, or cohabitating partners convicted of domestic violence are already banned from purchasing firearms, abusers in relationships between people who are not married and live separately are still able to purchase guns, creating the so-called boyfriend loophole. Wow. A gun safety advocacy group says about 70 women are shot and killed by an intimate partner every month. That's too much. Under the new legislation, anyone convicted of domestic violence against a former or current dating partner would be banned from purchasing a weapon. That's what you get! Expanded background checks for younger buyers, okay? Funding for mental health and school security. Okay, the only problem with that is funding for mental health. Is that going to go to services or is that going to go to drugs? Let's see. Expanding access to mental health services. There you go. Telehealth services and community-based mental health and substance use disorder treatment providers and organizations. Additional funding for suicide prevention hotline and staff. Stop Violence Act, increased security at schools. Licensed dealers and gun trafficking. More sellers at the register as federally licensed firearm dealers, including anyone who sells guns to predominantly earn a profit. These sellers would in turn be required to run background checks on potential buyers and keep records of the sales. The bill would also impose penalties on straw purchasers who buy guns for people who can't pass a background check. Alright. We get it. Biden calls for a 3-month federal gas tax holiday.
Tonight, with filling up at the pump becoming an expensive trip for all Americans, President Biden hopes suspending the federal gas tax will help. But some economists aren't so sure. The president needs Congress to do it, and we're hearing tonight from members of both parties who aren't sure this is such a great idea. For his part, the president says temporarily lifting the federal gas tax would give Americans just a little bit of breathing room. And he criticized the energy industry for prioritizing profits over production. The national average for a gallon of regular is now $4.96. That's $1.89 more than it was 1 year ago. And today, the Fed chair told Congress he's trying to avoid a recession, but there is a possibility. CBS's Nancy Cordes starts us off tonight from the White House. Good evening, Nancy.
Good evening, Nora. With gas prices bumping up against $5 a gallon, the president is facing mounting pressure to do something. But the controversial move he proposed today landed with a thud on Capitol Hill, and it's not at all clear he has the votes. It's a move the White House has been mulling for months. The president calling on Congress today to halt a key tax for 3 months.
By suspending the 18-cent gas tax, federal gas tax, for the next 90 days, we can bring down the price of gas and give families just a little bit of relief.
How little? Well, the typical small SUV with a 15-gallon gas tank costs about $74 to fill up right now. Eliminating the federal gas tax would only bring that cost down by $2.70. And that's assuming gas stations lower their prices to reflect the full tax cut. They're under no obligation to do so.
Well, I don't think the data reflects that the consumers benefit.
Lawmakers from both sides tapped the brakes today.
This is just a gimmick. We need to call it what it is.
Lucky Mora Orfe says she'll take it. She runs a transportation service in D.C.
I would say, honestly, yes, every bit helps, but it would be nice if it was more help.
To increase savings, the White House is now urging states to cut their own gas taxes. A handful of states have already done so, and analysts found a modest benefit for drivers.
We're going to use every lever that we have.
Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm.
What do you say to lawmakers who are already calling this federal gas tax holiday a gimmick and saying best case scenario, it'll save drivers about $20 a month?
Well, there's no doubt this is a modest, if it were just the federal gas tax, right, 18 cents is a modest, modest amount. But we're hopeful that we will start to see this come down, and this is one step in that direction.
Another step, she's going to be sitting down tomorrow with oil company CEOs to urge them to boost production. But some of these companies actually shut down refineries during the pandemic, and as a result, U.S. crude refining capacity is actually at its lowest level in 8 years. Nora?
You explain it so well. Nancy Cordes at the White House, thank you.
Trevor?
All right. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of lip service there, Londos. Lip service. Let's see if El Cash is around. Cancelled call. What happened? Why did it cancel? Waiting. Start video, end call. Alright, maybe he'll call back. I don't know why it's canceled. It says online. Oh, it's ringing. Hey-oh. Woo, woo. El Cash. A little echo. You watching the stream?
I am, but I got that muted right now.
Where's
Just on the laptop, whereas I'm talking on the phone with you.
Okay. Let's see. Why is there an echo though? Do you hear an echo?
I do, yeah. There's about a 3-second delay from what you're saying.
Oh, that's probably it's probably from my mic. Let me see if I could fix that.
That sounds like some sort of song.
Oh my god. So you're saying my stream is muted on your phone, on your laptop.
Yeah. Yeah, I can even just close the tab right now.
Okay,
So there, now I'm just on the phone with you through Telegram.
Okay. Let's see something. Let me download Telegram on my phone. Can you hear me?
Alright, I'll grab a glass of water and I'll call you back.
Wait, hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I think the echo is gone.
Yes, the echo seems to have dissipated.
Hey, we did it!
No. Yes. Yeah.
Did you still need a glass of water, or are you good?
Yeah, I'll get a glass of water.
You gonna go get a glass of water? All right. I'm gonna read a quick article on lentil recall.
Total lentil recall.
Total lentil recall. Wow. Nice, bro. That's a good one.
Good.
Okay, Daily Harvest recalls lentil crumbles after customers allege severe liver illness. Ooh. Yikes. They actually had this. Well, I was doing a construction gig at the airport over here, and they had these refrigerators where you could buy from this company. It's called Daily Harvest. Let's see. Popular vegan meal company Daily Harvest is under fire. Droves of customers have complained on social media about a range of alarming health issues, including agonizing stomach pain, liver and gallbladder damage, and vomiting. They claimed started after eating the company's French lentil and leek crumbles. On Friday, Daily Harvest, which is backed by celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow, recalled the plant-based meat alternative via a direct email to customers. What started as extremely intense upper abdominal pain, fever, nausea, and fatigue took a dark turn with the test results for my liver enzymes, one Instagram user wrote. He said his liver readings were abnormally high even though he doesn't drink. I went home with no answers and the pain continued for 2 more days before finally subsiding. Another Twitter user explained, I've been sick off and on for weeks, and one Reddit user detailed how his wife was hospitalized after developing symptoms consistent with liver issues. Extreme fatigue, dark urine, low-grade fever, and whole body itching with no rash. It's unclear how long Daily Harvest has known about the alleged health issues. The billion-dollar vegan giant launched the product made from lentils, quinoa, hemp seeds, butternut squash, and cremini mushrooms on April 28th. The company had supposedly been responding to customer complaints about health concerns on social media regarding the lentil crumbles since last Wednesday. Then on Friday, Daily Harvest sent an email to subscribers with instructions to dump them, at the same time offering a $10 credit for every bag of crumbles purchased, according to NBC News. On Sunday, the company issued a public statement on its website asking customers to dispose of the product and not eat it. And in a move that baffled customers, the brand's Instagram also posted a promotional image of a bowl of spaghetti topped with the walnut and thyme crumbles, along with an ambiguous caption directing users to an important message linked in its account bio, which sent them to a separate web page about the lentil product recall. Daily Harvest said that it's looking into the cause. We simultaneously launched an investigation with internal and external experts throughout our supply chain and in accordance with regulatory procedures. One mom influencer also apologized to her large Instagram following today after promoting the Daily Harvest product that may have made them sick. The customers who claim to have suffered severe and confusing consequences after eating the lentil crumbles are outraged at the company's nonchalant response and apparent delay in recalling the product, especially if some fear long-term liver damage. My best guess is that it might have been an insidious mold or some kind of toxin, but we're still in the dark, wrote one Reddit user, adding that it's beyond the pale that Daily Harvest has taken so long to release a statement of any kind. With the influencer-backed frozen meal company says it's still unsure what has caused the sickness. Raw lentils are generally dangerous to consume, as the lectin protein they contain can supposedly cause a variety of toxic reactions like vomiting and diarrhea. Daily Harvest's Friday email to customers wrote, as included in our cooking instructions, lentils must be thoroughly cooked to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Daily Harvest has stated online that it will share more information as soon as it's available. When Bon Appetit reached for comment about the illness, its cause, or how long Daily Harvest might have been aware of the allegations, the company shared a statement released on its website. Well, lentils aren't life food, so if you guys are following my Life Food Certified ingredients list on lifefoodcertified.com, you click on where it says ingredients, you'll notice no lentils. And the reason is as a legume, they are indigestible. No matter what temperature you cook them to, no matter if you sprout them, there is always going to be an indigestible protein that's not broken down. And I wouldn't say that's going to cause all those symptoms straight away from one meal. But over time, it will cause elevated liver enzymes and an immune response. I know for me personally, because of my brain injury, if I ever had legumes, I have a flare-up in depression, anxiety, irritability, morbid thoughts. El Cash, you don't eat lentils, do you?
I do my best to be avoiding the grain, beans.
You're a pretty strict life foodarian up there in Canada?
Relatively, yeah. Yeah, the idea for me is that I'm being kind and gentle with myself, saving money as I can, and just planning on undergoing more house cleaning, so to speak. And as I do this, that gradually being, transition to be able to just maintain strictly life food. Because right now, like I've yet to do much of the nutritional feasting since a couple years ago. I've been, having some fluctuations with where I've been living, things like this, and emotionally, my maturity or emotional intelligence is something I'm cultivating so that I can be less inclined to eat emotionally and be more utilitarian with strictly life food.
So you said you're on a budget, huh? So what are you doing, calorie restriction and foraging? What's that like?
Yeah, I've got a rate sheet actually just drying on the table across the room. They're coming to fruition this time, and yeah, so kind of like one meal a day, and in the morning, like maybe some like smoothie, something like that, which I believe kind of digests itself. And yeah, just I'm planning on making more headway with a gallbladder, and as I do that, I'll have an easier and easier time going without, and therefore being more discerning about what I'm taking in. Whereas, for instance, I'll get a free meal at the place I'm working, and creating something of life food there can be, not exactly as streamlined as just taking what they have on hand. I have to, make some modifications, and in the heat of the moment, doing some busy working, I can be, it's compromising a little bit. I'm kind of banking on my youth a little bit right now in that way, but one meal a day is probably more acceptable for my body than if I was just gorging myself all the time.
Right on. You said you're growing a reishi on your table?
No, I wish that would be really cool if he was growing out of my table. But no, I just got my drying on the table for future tincturing and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw a cool movie.
Yeah, just harvest.
You harvested it. That's the one that grows on a tree, right?
Yeah. Well, they grow in felled hemlock here in the north.
I think you're the one who told me the mushrooms that grow out of, trees, they're all edible, and the ones that grow out of the ground, they're all toxic. Is that accurate or not?
That's a little bit of a generalization, but I reckon that the ones on trees are typically edible, although not necessarily palatable. Whereas the ones coming out of the ground, you got to be more careful because a lot of those can be edible, but only one.
Right on. Yeah, I thought about you
You know,
yesterday.
because, what's that?
I thought about you yesterday. I was watching a movie called Fantastic Fungi. You ever see that?
Yeah, I was able to take this one in over the winter. Yeah, that's a great production. They're getting a lot of exposure, for how these fungal kingdom can be, aiding us in running our relationship with our natural way of being.
So I ordered like 5 pounds of lion's mane after watching the movie. I've kind of transitioned from marijuana for depression and anxiety. I transitioned to psilocybin mushrooms, and then now I'm going to transition from that to the lion's mane. I'm hoping that it
Wow.
hoping that it kind of, the last time I took the lion's mane, it took the edge off, and I think it works pretty good. I bought 5 pounds though because I'm gonna give some to my girlfriend and also my father. She's got depression and he's got kind of like early onset. I wouldn't say it's dementia, or Parkinson's, but it's just like, I would say, on a scale of 1 to 100, maybe he's like a 10 or a 20. Just, I noticed like, and maybe if he doesn't, because he's been vegetarian for many years, so I think that's kind of saved him somewhat. But his menu isn't perfect, but he does a lot of things right. So he's gonna be 80 years old, and most people 80 years old aren't as youthful as he is. But he doesn't do everything right, so I think the lion's mane will help.
Yeah, it's definitely worth giving that a go, like in the very least. Lion's mane has the nootropic properties that can be facilitating, more rapid firing cognition, and and then the momentum that comes with that, of course, invigorating. Mm-hmm.
So what are you up to on the farm up there? Are you still on the Life Food farm?
I've been predominantly making myself available for a restaurant the last month or so. And they are focusing on providing organic fare there for reasonable rates, So they're making accessible the voting with one's dollar. And so I'm there with a pretty good workspace culture to immerse myself in. People are generally, in good spirits there. and that makes a big difference, as I'm grinding, putting in a lot of hours and balancing my budget.
I could imagine that farming, a rural community is more like connected than where I'm at in the suburbs in the city. People more down to earth, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely that pattern, and I'm really appreciating this. Mm-hmm.
So, what's the name of the restaurant where you work?
The restaurant is Press Market.
Press? What is it called?
Press.
And that's in Ontario?
Yeah, Press Market. Collingwood.
Oh, Collingwood. There we go. Pulling up the website here. Find us behind the Cineplex at 2 Mountain Road.
The road to the mountain? More like a hill.
Nice. We believe that
life... That's photograph of the
new spot. It looks good. We believe that life should be filled with good food and good people. And there's something to be said when those two worlds collide. We build the best of both of these worlds with our warm welcome and high quality organic ingredients. Oh, okay. So the whole place is organic.
Yeah.
Right on, bro. That looks like a nice place to work, man.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself there, yeah.
Smoothies, breakfast, salads, sandwiches, burgers, bowls, kids zone, and hot drinks. Ooh, you make guys
small pipes and hot drinks.
Yeah, definitely. You you got homemade almond milk, huh?
Yeah, that's just something, really something. Yeah.
Oh, man. You make that?
Yeah, we're milking the almond cow twice a day, most.
Yeah. I bet it probably goes in a lot of your recipes, and people probably drink it by itself.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Nice. I'm gonna follow them on Instagram.
Right on.
Let's see if we can see. Oh, is that you? See somebody putting up a sign there. What else is going on?
Instagram.
What else is going on in your world up
there?
What
else?
Yeah. What else are you doing up there?
Well, I've been keeping busy, mostly skateboarding a little bit, if I can be.
Oh, yeah? What kind of skateboarding do you do?
Yeah, I was at this morning.
You do the longboard or the tricks?
I do the, like the skate deck, there's, like in the video game.
Oh, yeah? Tony Hawk? What game?
Yeah, that guy, yeah.
Nice.
That's been fun, summer. Solstice was just yesterday, so days are long and warm. Good way to get some sunshine.
For sure. Alright, this next article says, UK heatwave. How does sunscreen work? Oof. I don't use sunscreen. I'd rather get burned. A heat health alert has been issued. been issued for parts of England as the UK gets set for its hottest days of the year so far. Temperatures are forecast to reach 33 degrees Celsius, which is 91.4 degrees Fahrenheit, in parts of the southeast of England on Friday, as hot air spreads up from Spain, Portugal, and North Africa. People are advised to drink plenty of fluids, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, and a wide-brimmed hat, and to use a high-factor sunscreen. No! Most of us are familiar with sun protection factor, the big number on the front of your sunscreen bottle. The higher the number, the greater protection it offers. Many brands also carry a 5-star rating too, and that might be just as important to understand. SPF tells you how much protection your sunscreen provides from UVB radiation. The STAR system tells you the percentage of UVA radiation that is absorbed by the sunscreen in comparison to how much UVB is absorbed. Ribbit. Ultraviolet A and B refer to different wavelengths of radiation from the sun that enter the Earth's atmosphere. UVA is associated with aging of the skin and pigmentation, as well as skin cancer, particularly squamous cell carcinoma, the second most common type. It can affect human skin even through glass. UVB causes sunburn and is linked to particular types of skin cancer, basal cell carcinoma, the most common type, and malignant melanoma. Sunscreen doesn't stop all types of skin damage, so for maximum protection, it's recommended to cover up and seek shade when the sun is strongest. The SPF number on a bottle of sunscreen refers to how much UVB it allows in, not how much it blocks. A sunscreen with SPF 15 allows 1/15 of the sun rays to reach your skin, or about 7%. So it filters out about 93% of the UVB rays, while SPF 30 filters out about 97%. This means if you could stay in the sun for 10 minutes unprotected without burning, SPF 15 would in theory give you 15 times that protection, or 2.5 hours before you'd burn. The number of stars refers to the percentage of UVA absorbed as a ratio of how much UVB is absorbed. The scoring ranges from 1 to 5 stars, with 5 stars being the most effective. A low SPF sunscreen could have a high star rating because the ratio of UVA to UVB protection is the same as in a higher SPF product. Ideally, you want a sunscreen with a high SPF and a high star rating. These levels of protection assume sunscreen has been applied in ideal conditions. In reality, most people don't apply sunscreen perfectly, and it can rub off with sweat or while in water. Experts think most people only apply half the recommended quality. The British Association of Dermatologists says sunscreen with SPF 30 is a satisfactory form of sun protection in addition to protective shade and clothing, and that it should be reapplied at least every 2 hours, no matter what its SPF. Sheesh! EU guidance states that sunscreen should only be marketed as having protection of 50 plus and not use the ratings of 80 or 100, which can be found in some countries. It thinks these could be misleading as to how much extra protection they provide. SPF 50 provides about 98% protection, while 100 would provide less than 100%. No product provides 100% protection from the sun's rays. There are a lot of extended wear sunscreens on the market that advertise themselves as being for use once a day. Many claim to offer protection for up to 8 hours if applied correctly. But some dermatologists recommend that these products should still be applied at least every 2 hours, like any other sunscreen, since the risk that you may have missed a spot or that it will rub or wash off in that time are too high. A report in 2016 criticized these products for not living up to their claims. It found that after 6 to 8 hours, the average protection offered decreased by 74%. Oh man, they just want you to be saturated with petrochemicals there, Lucas.
That's bogus.
What's your
You know what I found out recently?
Yeah. What?
The balsam poplar tree has a waxy, like white, dusty coating on the external bark, and if you're feeling like you need a relief from the sun's rays for a bit at midday and happen upon a balsam poplar stand, you can rub your forearms, you know, or like your shins or what have you on the bark of the balsam poplar, and this dusty, waxy coating actually works effectively as a real sunblock aid, if that's what someone would be looking for.
Wow. So this says here, the side of the tree, where is it?
Some kind of yeast coating or something, maybe?
The side of the tree that faces the sun perspires and gives off a white powder coating called bloom that can be used to wipe on the body as a natural sunscreen. In the past, Native Americans used this powder for sun protection. Also known as the aspen tree. The quaking aspen, the trembling aspen, American aspen, white poplar, and many more names are found in colder regions. So you got these up where you are, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm it's just amazing, you know, what's available there, you know, nature to heal us up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I understand, you know, that my you know, recent ancestors came from a part of the Mediterranean, which is close to North Africa. So I have a skin tone which does have a little bit of melanin, so I can get tan. I did, however, get really burned in the beginning of the summer around Memorial Day, and I was peeling. It was the first time that happened, probably in 30 years that happened to me. And somebody at my gym said it's because I'm getting older. I said, really? I didn't know that, you know, the age affects your ability to absorb sun or get burned in the sun. But you know, maybe there's some truth to that. But what I heard was that the places where people actually get skin cancer aren't the places that are exposed to the sun. That's a big scam, and the sunscreen actually causes cancer because it's got the petro in it.
Oh yeah, I reckon that's the case. Yeah, I reckon that a sunburn is honestly like a healing response, you know, like anything that's up near the surface, you know, that is other than of you is molted away, and the sun just helps expedite that process.
Oh wow, that's an amazing way to look at it, that actually symptoms are a healing response.
A vital sign.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Also the melanin, that's the melanin that forms, you know, is you know, of good health, you know, and that makes sense that the melanin usually proliferates after maybe an initial burning away of what, you know, has been taking up the space there around the surface there.
I see. So the reaction of the burn is actually something coming out, huh?
Yeah, but this is the way that I've been framing that. I typically tan quite readily, and I'm really appreciative of this because, you know, I understand the relevance of melanin in general. But yeah, as a burn has occurred, you know, that's most likely the body just being prompted to molt in a way.
Rick in the chat says, in a sweat lodge, the fever is a healing activity.
Hmm.
Rick, are you an undercover native over there? I knew there was something about you.
Wow.
I could go for a good sweat lodge.
Yeah, the fever. Raise the heat, right? And then that's amazing. That would definitely purge a lot of you know, non-desirables. Wow.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Well, look, I'm glad that we got back together, my guy.
Me too. Yeah.
You're a Chicano.
Thanks for encouraging me to.
Rick
Yeah.
says I'm a Chicano. That is, like, hold on, I'm gonna look that up. Chicano. Identifier of people of Mexican descent born in the United States. Okay. Okay. Someone who is native or descends from Mexico and who lives in the United States. Ah. So the Mexican what is it? Shaman. Mexican shaman.
Toltec?
Is that the Toltec?
The
Okay.
Nagual? Yeah, Nagual. Nagual.
Okay. Now you Google's saying Mayan. Mayans are for Mexico. We got another one here. Curandero. Oaxacan. Oaxakan.
Oaxacan.
Oaxacan. He says, I am third generation and we recognize Aztlan. Aztlan. Is that Atlantis? Aztlan. Aztlan, also spelled Aztlan or sometimes Aztalan, is the name of the mythical homeland of the Aztecs, the ancient Mesoamerican civilization also known as the Mexica. According to the origin myth, the Mexica left Aztlan at the behest of their god-ruler, Huitzilopochtli, to find a new home in the Valley of Mexico. Okay, I think that's something to do with Atlantis. That's just my intuition, but I could be wrong.
Wow, that reminds me of some of Robert Zepper's content.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. And what was the one you said? Nahuatl?
I mentioned the Nagual.
Oh, Nagual. Okay, let me look that one up. Nagual? Oh, there you go. Nagual Aztec. Okay. A human being who has the power to shapeshift into their animal totem. Personal guardian spirit.
Wow.
Refers to the
So
unseen
fascinating.
energy. Refers to the unseen energy that creates all manifest life. Maybe that's Great Spirit. Men and women
Oh, Wakantanka.
know themselves as that eternal energy. They walk lightly through the dream of humanity, undefeated by their own lies. Ooh, Don Miguel Ruiz. Wakan Tanka. Lakota. The term for the sacred or the divine. Usually translated as Great Spirit and occasionally as Great Mystery. Wakantanka, not Wonka Tonka, not Willy Wonka there, Rick. Willy Wonka, what the? Yeah, Walking Tonka. Christopher Walken Tonka. Playing with a Tonka truck. Right on, bro. Well, I'm gonna end it there, Master Lucas.
All right, man.
All right, and I appreciate you giving us your time. You're amazing person, amazing human, amazing living being. And I know you're working a lot, but when you get some time, you got to come check out the new location of Life Food Certified. I think the borders are
How's the
open.
first week of August looking for it?
Great.
Yeah? Alright. Let's play this by ear then.
You got, let's see, 1, 2, hold on, things not working out. 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. You got 6 weeks to get ready.
Haha.
It's a training camp.
Yeah.
Alright, brother, and you can stay as long as you want. But we'll definitely
Thanks.
We'll definitely talk again next week.
Right on.
Alright, Lucas. Have a good night. YouTube.
Yes, you too. Rest easy. Uh-huh.
Oh. Woo woo. Rick, Londos. Who else is here? Anybody else? John? Thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, go to masterluki.com, about page, and hit me up. I'll hit you back. Out.